Marcus Williams looked at his gold watch as he stepped out of his shiny black car. It was exactly 2:30 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon. He did not like being late for anything. As the boss of a big building company, Marcus was always on time for meetings. Today was different, though. He was not going to an office building or meeting room. He was going to visit a children's hospital. Marcus did not like hospitals. They made him feel sad and uncomfortable. The smell of medicine, the sound of crying, the worried faces of people, all of it reminded him of bad times from when he was young. But he had to be here today. His company was giving money to help build a new part of the hospital just for sick children. Marcus needed to make sure everything was going well with the plans. He walked through the big glass doors of St. Mary's Children's Hospital. The lobby was painted in bright colors with pictures of cartoon animals on the walls. There were small chairs and tables where children could play while waiting. Marcus felt out of place in his expensive dark suit and shiny leather shoes. Everyone else was dressed in casual clothes or hospital uniforms. A nurse at the front desk smiled at him. "Good afternoon, sir. How can I help you?" she asked in a friendly voice. Marcus straightened his tie and spoke in his usual business tone. "I am Marcus Williams from Williams Construction Company. I have a meeting with Dr. Peterson about the new wing project." "Oh, yes, Mr. Williams. Dr. Peterson is waiting for you on the third floor. Take the elevator and turn right," the nurse said, pointing toward the elevators. Marcus nodded and walked quickly across the lobby. He wanted to finish this meeting fast and get back to his office where he felt comfortable. As Marcus waited for the elevator, he heard children laughing and playing nearby. The sound made him think about his own childhood. He had grown up without parents, moving from one foster home to another. He never had a normal family life like other kids. That was why he focused all his time on work now. Work was simple. Work made sense. People were complicated. The elevator doors opened and Marcus stepped inside. As the elevator went up, he thought about the meeting ahead. His company was donating $2 million for this project. It would be the biggest donation they had ever made. The new wing would have 20 rooms for sick children and their families. Marcus felt good about helping, even though hospitals still made him nervous. When the elevator stopped on the third floor, Marcus stepped out and looked around. This floor was quieter than the lobby. The walls were painted soft blue and green colors. There were pictures of flowers and butterflies everywhere. He could hear soft music playing from somewhere down the hall. Marcus walked toward the office area, following the signs on the wall. He passed several rooms where children were staying. Through the open doors, he could see little beds, toys, and families sitting together. Some children were playing games, others were sleeping. It made Marcus feel both sad and happy at the same time. As he turned a corner near the children's play area, Marcus heard a small voice behind him. "Excuse me, sir." The voice was so quiet that Marcus almost did not hear it. He stopped walking and looked around. There, standing by the wall, was a little girl who looked about 7 years old. The girl had big brown eyes that seemed too serious for someone so young. Her dark hair was tied up in 2 ponytails, but they looked messy, like no one had helped her fix them in a while. She was wearing a pink dress that was a little too big for her tiny body. In her arms she held an old teddy bear that looked like it had been hugged many, many times. Marcus was not used to talking to children. He did not know what to say. "Yes? What is it?" he asked, trying to make his voice sound gentle instead of his usual business tone. The little girl took a small step closer to him. She looked nervous but also hopeful. "My name is Emma," she said in a soft voice. "Are you someone's daddy?" The question surprised Marcus. He looked down at Emma and saw that she was staring at him with those big brown eyes, waiting for his answer. "No, I am not," Marcus said honestly. "I do not have any children." Emma's face looked disappointed for a moment, but then she got a look of determination that reminded Marcus of himself when he was making an important business deal. "Sir," she said, holding her teddy bear tighter, "tomorrow is Father's Day at my school. All the other kids in my class are bringing their daddies to the celebration." Marcus felt something strange in his chest as Emma continued talking. Her voice got quieter, and he had to lean down a little to hear her better. "But I do not have a daddy," she said, looking down at her feet. "I never had one. My mommy says some families are different, and that is okay. But tomorrow I will be. The only kid without a daddy there." Emma looked back up at Marcus with those serious brown eyes. What she said next made Marcus feel like someone had hit him in the stomach. "Sir, could you pretend to be my daddy? Just for one day, please?" Marcus stood there, not knowing what to say. He had been asked many difficult questions in business meetings. He had made decisions involving millions of dollars. But no one had ever asked him something that made him feel so confused and scared at the same time. Double quotes Marcus started to speak but stopped. He looked at Emma, who was waiting for his answer with hope written all over her small face. "Where is your mother?" He finally asked. Emma pointed down the hallway toward one of the patient rooms. "She is in room 312. She has been very sick for a long time. The doctors are trying to make her better, but it is taking a very long time. We have been living here at the hospital for 3 months now." Marcus felt his heart beating faster. This little girl was living at the hospital because her mother was sick. She did not have a father, and now her mother might not get better. Marcus understood what it felt like to be alone, but Emma was just a child. "The Father's Day celebration is tomorrow at 2 p.m. at Sunshine Elementary School," Emma continued. "We will eat cookies and juice, and everyone will introduce their daddies. To the class, I just want to feel normal for one day. I want to show my friends that I have a daddy too, even if it is just pretend." Emma hugged her teddy bear and looked at Marcus with the most hopeful expression he had ever seen. "Please, sir?" "I promise I will be really, really good. I will not cause any trouble. I just want to feel like I belong somewhere." Marcus felt something breaking inside his heart. He had spent years building walls around his feelings, focusing only on work and success. But standing here looking at this brave little girl who was asking for something so simple yet so important, those walls started to crack. "What is your last name, Emma?" Marcus asked swiftly. "Emma Johnson," she replied. Still clutching her teddy bear, Marcus looked down the hallway toward room 312, then back at Emma. He thought about all the times he had felt alone as a child. He remembered wishing someone would care about him, include him, make him feel like he mattered. Now this little girl was asking him for exactly that kind of kindness? "Emma," Marcus said, his voice gentler than it had been in years, "I will think about it, okay?" Emma's face lit up like sunshine. "Really? You will really think about it?" "Yes," Marcus said, surprising himself. "I will think about it." Emma smiled. The biggest smile Marcus had ever seen. "Thank you for thinking about it, sir. That means a lot to me." She started to walk away, then turned back. "Oh, and sir, if you decide to be my pretend daddy tomorrow, my teacher's name is Mrs. Garcia. She is really nice. And we get to make picture frames and eat chocolate chip cookies." As Emma walked back toward her mother's room, Marcus stood in the hospital hallway, feeling like his whole world had just changed. A little girl he had never met before had just asked him to be the most important person in her life for one day. And somehow, deep in his heart, Marcus already knew what his answer would be. Marcus stood in the hospital hallway for a long time after Emma walked away. He could still see her small figure disappearing into room 312, carrying her old teddy bear. His heart was beating fast and his hands felt shaky. This had never happened to him before. In his business world, Marcus always knew what to do. He made quick decisions and moved on. But now, a 7-year-old girl had asked him something that made his whole world feel upside down. Marcus tried to remember why he had come to the hospital in the first place. The meeting with Dr. Peterson, the new wing project, his company's donation. All of these important business matters suddenly seemed less important than they had an hour ago. He looked at his expensive watch and saw that he was already 15 minutes late for his meeting. Marcus never allowed himself to be late for anything. He walked slowly toward Dr. Peterson's office. But his mind was not thinking about construction, plans, or donation papers. Instead, he kept hearing Emma's voice asking, Could you pretend to be my daddy ... just for one day? The way she had said it, with so much hope and sadness mixed together, made Marcus feel things he had not felt in many years. Dr. Peterson was a kind man in his 50s with gray hair and a friendly smile. He did not seem upset that Marcus was late. "Mr. Williams, thank you so much for coming today. We are so grateful for your company's generous donation," he said, shaking Marcus's hand warmly. Marcus tried to focus on the meeting, but his thoughts kept going back to Emma. Dr. Peterson showed him the plans for the new wing, explained where the money would be used, and talked about how many children would be helped. Marcus nodded and asked the right questions, but part of his mind was somewhere else. "Mr. Williams, is everything all right?" Dr. Peterson asked after a while. "You seem distracted today." Marcus realized he had been staring out the window instead of listening. "I am sorry, Dr. Peterson. I just met a little girl in the hallway. Emma Johnson. She and her mother are staying here because her mother is very sick." Dr. Peterson's face became serious. "Ah, yes, Emma and Sarah Johnson. Sarah has been fighting cancer for several months now. Emma is such a brave little girl. She spends most of her time here at the hospital, but she still goes to school when she can. The nurses and doctors all love her. She brings light to this place even when she is sad." "What will happen to Emma if her mother does not get better?" Marcus asked, even though he was not sure he wanted to know the answer. Dr. Peterson sighed. "Sarah has no family left, no brothers or sisters, no parents. If something happens to her, Emma will probably go into the foster care system. It is not what any of us want, but sometimes that is how life works." Marcus felt a cold feeling in his stomach. Foster care. He knew all about foster care. He had lived in 7 different foster homes before he turned 18. Some were okay, but many were not good places for children. The thought of bright, hopeful Emma going through what he had gone through made Marcus feel sick. After the meeting ended, Marcus walked slowly back to his car. But instead of driving away, he sat in the parking lot for a long time, thinking. He looked up at the hospital building and wondered which window belonged to room 312. Was Emma in there right now, taking care of her sick mother? Was she doing homework or playing with her teddy bear? Was she thinking about tomorrow's Father's Day celebration at school? Marcus had never thought about having children. His life was all about work, success, and making money. He lived alone, in a big penthouse apartment with expensive furniture and no toys. He did not know anything about taking care of children. He did not know what 7-year-olds liked to eat or what time they went to bed. He had never been to a school celebration or helped with homework, but as Marcus sat in his car, he remembered his own childhood. He remembered being the only kid in his class who never had anyone come to school events. He remembered feeling different, alone, and unwanted. He remembered wishing that just once someone would choose him, care about him, and make him feel like he belonged somewhere. Marcus started his car and drove toward his office, but halfway there he changed his mind. He drove to the nearest shopping mall instead. He had never been shopping for children before, so he did not know where to start. He walked around the mall, looking at stores and wondering what Emma might like. In a bookstore, Marcus found a section with children's books. He picked up several books and read the covers. One book was about a brave little girl who went on adventures. Another was about a teddy bear who helped children feel better when they were scared. Marcus bought both books, even though he was not sure why. At a toy store, Marcus felt even more confused. There were so many toys everywhere. Dolls, games, stuffed animals, art supplies, and things Marcus had never seen before. A young woman who worked at the store came to help him. "Can I help you find something?" she asked with a smile. "I need a gift for a 7-year-old girl," Marcus said, feeling embarrassed, "but I do not know what children like." The woman showed Marcus different toys and explained what most 7-year-old girls enjoyed. Marcus finally chose a small art set with colored pencils, markers, and drawing paper. He thought Emma might like to draw pictures while she waited at the hospital that evening. Marcus sat in his big, quiet apartment, looking at the books and art set he had bought. He still had not decided what to tell Emma. Part of him wanted to help her, but another part of him was scared. What if he did something wrong? What if he embarrassed Emma in front of her classmates? What if he was not good enough to be even a pretend father for one day? Marcus made himself dinner, but he could not eat much. He kept thinking about Emma's serious brown eyes and the way she had held her teddy bear so tightly. He thought about her mother lying sick in the hospital room. He thought about Emma being alone in the world if her mother did not get better. Around 9 o'clock, Marcus made a decision. He would go back to the hospital tomorrow morning before the school celebration. He would tell Emma that he would be her pretend daddy for Father's Day. He did not know if he would be good at it, but he knew he had to try. Emma deserved to have someone care about her, even if it was just for one day. Marcus went to his closet and looked at his clothes. All of his suits were dark and expensive, perfect for business meetings, but not right for a school celebration. He had some casual clothes that he wore on weekends, but he was not sure if they were right either. He had never tried to look like a father before. The next morning, Marcus woke up earlier than usual. He felt nervous, like he was going to give the most important business presentation of his life. He chose khaki pants and a blue shirt, clothes that made him look more like a regular person and less like a boss. He looked at himself in the mirror and wondered if Emma would think he looked like a real father. Marcus drove to the hospital with the books and art set on the passenger seat of his car. His hands were shaking a little as he parked in the same spot he had used the day before. He walked through the hospital doors and took the elevator to the 3rd floor, just like he had done yesterday, but today everything felt different. Today, he was not just a businessman making a donation. Today, he was going to be someone's father, even if it was just pretend. As Marcus walked down the hallway toward room 312, he saw Emma sitting in a chair outside her mother's room. She was wearing a different dress today, a yellow one with small flowers on it. Her hair was still in 2 ponytails, but today they looked neater. She was reading a book and did not see Marcus walking toward her. "Good morning, Emma," Marcus said softly. Emma looked up, and her face lit up with the biggest smile Marcus had ever seen. "You came back," she said, jumping up from her chair. "Does that mean you decided? Will you be my pretend daddy today?" Marcus knelt down so he was at the same level as Emma. He looked into her hopeful brown eyes and smiled. "Yes, Emma, I will be your pretend daddy today. But first, I have something for you." Marcus handed Emma the bag with the books and art set inside. Emma's eyes grew wide as she looked inside the bag. She pulled out the book about the brave little girl and hugged it to her chest. "This is for me?" Emma asked, her voice full of wonder. "Really and truly mine?" "Yes, it is yours," Marcus said, feeling warm inside when he saw how happy Emma looked. "I thought you might like to read it when you have to wait here at the hospital." Emma opened the art set and gasped. "Look at all these colors. I can draw pictures for Mommy when she feels better." She looked up at Marcus with tears in her eyes, but they were happy tears. "Thank you, Daddy Marcus. Can I call you Daddy Marcus?" And they made Marcus feel strange, but also good. "Yes, you can call me Daddy Marcus," he said. "Now, should we go meet your mother before we leave for school?" Emma nodded and took Marcus's hand. Her small hand felt so tiny in his big one. She led him into room 312, where a thin woman with kind eyes was lying in the hospital bed. Even though she looked very sick, she smiled when she saw Marcus. "Mommy, this is Daddy Marcus," Emma said excitedly. "He's going to come to Father's Day with me today." Sarah Johnson looked at Marcus with grateful eyes. "Thank you," she whispered. "You have no idea what this means to Emma. She has been so excited since yesterday." Marcus felt embarrassed. "It is nothing, really. I am happy to help." "It is not nothing," Sarah said firmly. "Emma has never had a father figure in her life. You are giving her something I could never give her." Marcus and Emma said goodbye to Sarah and walked to Marcus's car. Emma had never been in such an expensive car before. She touched the leather seats and looked at all the buttons on the dashboard. "This car is so fancy," Emma said. "Do all daddies have cars like this?" Marcus laughed. "No, not all daddies have cars like this. Old daddies are different. Some drive trucks, some drive small cars, and some do not have cars at all. On the way to Sunshine Elementary School, Emma told Marcus about her teacher, Mrs. Garcia, and her best friend, Sophie. She explained the games they would play and the snacks they would eat. Marcus listened carefully, trying to remember everything so he would not make any mistakes. "Daddy Marcus," Emma said as they got close to the school, "what should I tell my friends about you? What kind of work do you do?" Marcus thought for a moment. "I build buildings." "Big buildings where people work, like a construction worker?" Emma asked. "Sort of," Marcus said. "I am the boss of the construction workers." Emma nodded seriously. "That sounds very important. I will tell everyone that my daddy builds big buildings and that he is very important." When they arrived at Sunshine Elementary, Marcus felt nervous again. The parking lot was full of cars, and he could see fathers and children walking together toward the school building. Some dads were wearing work clothes, others were in casual clothes, and a few were dressed up like Marcus. All of them looked comfortable and natural with their children. Emma took Marcus's hand again as they walked toward Emma's classroom. "Do not be nervous, Daddy Marcus," she said, looking up at him. "Everyone will like you. You are the best daddy." "Here," Marcus squeezed her hand gently. "How do you know I am nervous?" "Because you keep fixing your shirt just like I do when I am nervous," Emma said with a wise smile. The classroom was decorated with colorful Father's Day decorations. There were balloons, streamers, and handmade cards hanging on the walls. Tables were set up around the room with snacks and craft supplies. Marcus saw about 15 fathers with their children, all talking and laughing together. Mrs. Garcia was a friendly woman with curly hair and a bright smile. She came over to greet Marcus and Emma as soon as they entered the room. "You must be Emma's father," Mrs. Garcia said, shaking Marcus's hand. "Emma has been so excited about today. She told everyone that you build big buildings." "Yes, that is right," Marcus said, feeling more comfortable. "Thank you for organizing this celebration." Emma immediately started introducing Marcus to her classmates. "This is my daddy, Marcus," she would say proudly to each child. "He builds the tallest buildings in the whole city." The other children were impressed and asked Marcus lots of questions. "How tall is the tallest building you built?" asked a boy named Tommy. "Do you get to use big machines?" asked a girl named Lisa. Marcus found himself enjoying their questions and curiosity. The first activity was making picture frames. Each father and child team got to decorate a wooden frame with stickers, markers, and glitter. Emma was very serious about choosing the perfect decorations. "We need to make it beautiful," Emma said, carefully placing star stickers around the frame. "This will go in Mommy's room so she can see it every day." Marcus helped Emma glue on the decorations and write her name on the bottom of the frame. Working together on the craft project felt natural and fun. Marcus had never done anything like this before, but Emma was a good teacher. "You are really good at this, Daddy Marcus," Emma said, admiring their finished frame. "Have you made picture frames before?" "No, this is my first time," Marcus admitted. "But I had a very good helper." Next, they played father-daughter games. There was a 3-legged race where Marcus and Emma had to tie their legs together and run across the classroom. Emma giggled the whole time as they stumbled and almost fell. They came in last place, but Emma did not care. "That was so fun." Emma laughed. "We should practice and try again next year." The words "next year" made Marcus feel something strange in his chest. Emma was already thinking about next year, as if Marcus would still be in her life. The thought scared him but also made him happy. During snack time, Marcus and Emma sat at a small table eating cookies and drinking juice. Emma introduced Marcus to her best friend Sophie and Sophie's father, Mr. Chun. "Sophie, this is my daddy." "Marcus," Emma said proudly. "He is the best daddy in the whole world." Sophie looked at Marcus seriously. "Do you really build big buildings?" "Yes, I do," Marcus replied. "That is so cool," Sophie said. "My daddy works at a bank." "That is not as cool as building big buildings," Mr. Chun laughed. "Thanks a lot, Sophie." The fathers started talking about their jobs and their children. Marcus felt included in their conversations, even though he had only been a father for a few hours. The other men were friendly and treated him like one of them. As the celebration continued, Marcus watched Emma interact with her friends. She was confident, happy, and proud. She never left his side, always holding his hand or standing close to him. Every few minutes she would look up at him and smile, as if she could not believe he was really there. The final activity was when each child gave their father a handmade card. Emma's card was decorated with hearts and flowers, and inside she had written in her careful handwriting, "Dear Daddy Marcus, thank you for being my daddy today. You made me feel special and happy. I will never forget this day. Love, Emma." Marcus felt tears starting in his eyes as he read the card. He looked at Emma, who was watching his face carefully. "Do you like it?" Emma asked quietly. "I love it," Marcus said, his voice a little shaky. "It is the most beautiful card anyone has ever given me." Emma hugged Marcus tightly. "I love you, Daddy Marcus," she whispered. Marcus hugged her back, feeling his heart fill with emotions he had never experienced before. "I love you too, Emma," he said, and meant it completely. As the celebration ended and other families started to leave, Emma did not want to let go of Marcus's hand. "Do we have to go back to the hospital now?" Emma asked sadly. Marcus looked down at this brave little girl who had changed his life in just 2 days. "Not yet," he said. "Would you like to go get some ice cream first?" Emma's face lit up like the sun. "Really? Just you and me?" "Just you and me," Marcus said, realizing that he never wanted this day to end. Marcus and Emma went to a small ice cream shop near the school. Emma had never been to an ice cream shop like this before. It had bright colors, fun music, and more flavors than she could count. Her eyes were wide as she looked at all the choices. "I can pick any flavor I want?" Emma asked, pressing her nose against the glass case. "Any flavor you want," Marcus said, smiling at her excitement. "Take your time and choose carefully." Emma looked at every single flavor, asking Marcus to read the names she could not read. Finally, she chose strawberry ice cream with rainbow sprinkles. Marcus got vanilla ice cream, which made Emma laugh. "Vanilla is the most boring flavor, Daddy Marcus," Emma said, giggling. "Why did you not pick something more exciting?" "I like simple things," Marcus said. "But maybe next time I will try something more adventurous." "Next time?" Emma asked hopefully. "Will there be a next time?" Marcus realized what he had said. He had been thinking about the future without meaning to. "Well, we will see," he said softly. They sat at a small table by the window. Emma swung her legs while she ate her ice cream, chattering about school, her friends, and her mother. Marcus listened to every word, amazed by how much this little girl had to say. "Daddy Marcus," Emma said suddenly, "why do you not have a family of your own?" The question caught Marcus off guard. He had not expected Emma to ask such a personal question. "I have always been very busy with work," he said carefully. "I never had time to think about having a family. But do you not get lonely?" Emma asked, tilting her head to one side. "I get lonely sometimes, even when Mommy is right there in the hospital bed." Marcus felt his heart squeeze. "Yes, I do get lonely sometimes," he admitted, "but I try not to think about it." Emma nodded seriously. "I think about it a lot. I wonder what it would be like to have a daddy who comes home every day and reads me bedtime stories and helps me with my homework." "What would you want your daddy to be like?" Marcus asked, genuinely curious. Emma thought for a moment, licking her ice cream spoon. "I would want him to be kind and funny. I would want him to hug me when I'm sad and be proud of me when I do. Good things at school. I would want him to love my mommy and take care of both of us." Marcus felt a lump in his throat. "That sounds like a very good daddy." "You're like that," Emma said simply. "You are kind and you make me laugh. You hugged me today when I was nervous about the school celebration, and you are taking care of me right now." Marcus did not know what to say. He had never thought of himself as father material, but Emma seemed to see something in him that he did not see in himself. After they finished their ice cream, Marcus and Emma drove back to the hospital. Emma was quieter during the car ride, and Marcus could tell she was thinking about something serious. "Daddy Marcus," Emma said as they pulled into the hospital parking lot. "Will you come visit me and Mommy again?" Marcus turned off the car and looked at Emma. Her big brown eyes were full of hope and worry at the same time. "Would you like me to visit you again?" "More than anything in the whole world," Emma said quietly. "Today was the best day of my whole life. I do not want it to end." "It does not have to end," Marcus said, surprising himself with his answer. "I can come visit you tomorrow if you want." Emma's face lit up. "Really? You promise?" "I promise," Marcus said, and he meant it. They went up to Sarah's room together. Emma was excited to tell her mother about everything that had happened at school. She showed Sarah the picture frame they had made and read her the card she had given to Marcus. "We played games and ate cookies, and I introduced Daddy Marcus to all my friends," Emma said, talking very fast. "And then we went for ice cream, and I got strawberry with rainbow sprinkles." Sarah smiled weakly at her daughter's excitement, but Marcus could see that she was getting sicker. Her skin was pale, and she looked very tired. When Emma went to the bathroom, Sarah asked Marcus to come closer to her bed. "Thank you for today," Sarah whispered. I have never seen Emma so happy. She has been smiling and laughing more in the past 2 days than she has in months. "She is a special little girl," Marcus said. "She deserves to be happy. Can I ask you something?" Sarah said, her voice very quiet. "Why did you decide to help Emma? You do not know us." "You do not owe us anything." Marcus thought about the question. "I think Emma and I needed each other," he said finally. "I just did not realize it until I met her," Sarah nodded slowly. "Emma needs stability in her life. She needs someone who will not leave her. Can you give her that?" The question scared Marcus, but he knew what his answer was. "Yes," he said, "I can give her that." From that day on, Marcus visited Emma and Sarah every day after work. He would bring dinner for all of them, help Emma with her homework, and read bedtime stories. Emma started calling him Daddy Marcus all the time, not just when they were pretending. Marcus's life began to change in ways he had never expected. He started leaving work earlier so he could spend more time at the hospital. He learned about Emma's favorite foods, her favorite movies, and her fears. He learned that she was afraid of thunderstorms and loved butterflies. He learned that she was very smart and loved to read. Emma also learned about Marcus. She learned that he had grown up without parents, just like she might have to do. She learned that he worked very hard and that he was successful, but that he had never been truly happy until he met her. "Daddy Marcus," Emma said one evening as Marcus was reading her a story, "were you sad when you were a little boy like me?" Marcus stopped reading and looked at Emma. She was lying in the small bed the hospital had set up for her in her mother's room. Her teddy bear was tucked under her arm, and she was looking at Marcus with those serious brown eyes. "Yes, I was sad sometimes," Marcus said honestly. "I did not have a mommy or daddy to take care of me." "But you turned out good anyway," Emma said. "You are successful and kind, and you take care of people now." "How do you know I am good?" Marcus asked. "Because you chose to help me when you did not have to," Emma said simply. "Good people help others even when it is hard." Marcus felt tears in his eyes. This 7-year-old girl understood things that many adults did not understand. She had wisdom that came from facing difficult things at a young age. "Emma," Marcus said carefully, "what would you think if I told you that I want to be your real daddy, not just your pretend daddy?" Emma sat up in her bed, her eyes wide. "What do you mean?" "I mean that I want to adopt you." "I want to be your father forever, not just for one day," Marcus said, "but only if that is what you want too." Emma stared at Marcus for a long moment. Then she threw her arms around his neck and hugged him as tight as she could. "Yes, yes, yes," Emma cried. "I want you to be my real daddy forever and ever." Marcus hugged Emma back, feeling happier than he had ever felt in his entire life. He looked over at Sarah, who was crying but smiling at the same time. "Are you sure about this?" Sarah asked Marcus. "Being a parent is not easy. It is a big responsibility." "I have never been more sure of anything in my life," Marcus said. "Emma has already changed my life completely. I cannot imagine going back to the way things were before I met her." Sarah nodded slowly. "Then I give you my blessing." Emma needs a father who will love her and protect her. I can see that you already do both of those things. That night, Marcus went home to his big, empty apartment and looked around. Tomorrow he would start making changes. He would turn the spare bedroom into Emma's room. He would buy toys and books and clothes. He would learn how to be the father that Emma deserved. Marcus had thought that helping Emma for one day would be a simple act of kindness. He had no idea that it would change his entire life. But now he could not imagine his life without Emma's. Laughter, her questions, her hugs, and her love. For the first time in his life, Marcus felt like he truly belonged somewhere. He belonged with Emma, and she belonged with him. The next few weeks were busy and exciting for Marcus and Emma. Marcus had never prepared to become a father before, so everything was new to him. He spent his evenings shopping for things Emma would need: a bed, clothes, toys, and books. He hired painters to make the spare bedroom in his apartment bright and cheerful, with yellow walls and white furniture. Emma helped him choose everything, even though she was still spending most of her time at the hospital with her mother. Sarah was getting weaker every day, but she was happy to see Marcus and Emma planning their future together. "What color do you want your bed sheets to be?" Marcus asked Emma one afternoon as they looked at a catalog together. "Pink with butterflies," Emma said without hesitation. "And can I have a bookshelf for all my books?" "You can have anything you want," Marcus said, writing down her choices. "This is going to be your home too." Emma smiled and leaned against Marcus's arm. "I still cannot believe this is really happening. Are you sure you want me to live with you forever?" "More sure than I have ever been about anything," Marcus said, kissing the top of her head. Marcus also had to learn about legal things like adoption papers, court hearings, and background checks. He hired the best lawyer in the city to help him. The lawyer, Mrs. Rodriguez, was kind and patient as she explained everything Marcus needed to do. "The adoption process usually takes several months," Mrs. Rodriguez explained during their first meeting. "But given Emma's situation and her mother's illness, we can try to speed things up. What do I need to do?" Marcus asked. "You will need to take parenting classes, have home visits from a social worker, and appear in court," Mrs. Rodriguez said. "The court will want to make sure you can provide a stable, loving home for Emma." Marcus felt nervous about the classes and court hearings, but he was determined to do whatever it took to become Emma's legal father. The parenting classes were held 2 evenings a week at a community center. Marcus felt out of place at first. Most of the other people in the class were couples who were trying to adopt babies. Marcus was a single man who was adopting a 7-year-old girl he had known for only a few weeks. During the first class, everyone had to introduce themselves and explain why they wanted to adopt. When it was Marcus's turn, he felt nervous standing in front of the group. "My name is Marcus Williams," he said. "I am trying to adopt a 7-year-old girl named Emma. Her mother is very sick and she has no other family. Emma asked me to pretend to be her father for one day, and that one day changed my whole life." The instructor, Miss Davis, smiled warmly. "That is a beautiful story, Marcus. What made you decide you wanted to be Emma's real father?" Marcus thought. For a moment, "Emma taught me what it means to love someone more than yourself. Before I met her, I only cared about work and success. Now I care about making sure Emma is happy and safe. She needs me, and I need her." The other people in the class nodded and smiled. Marcus realized that even though their situations were different, they all shared the same desire to give a child a loving home. Marcus learned many things in the parenting classes. He learned about child development, discipline, communication, and how to help children deal with trauma and loss. He studied hard and took notes, just like he had done in business school. At the same time, Marcus was spending every free moment with Emma at the hospital. He helped her with homework, played games with her, and read her bedtime stories. The nurses and doctors all got to know Marcus, and they could see how much he and Emma loved each other. Dr. Peterson stopped by Sarah's room one evening while Marcus was there. "I have to say, Marcus, you have made such a difference in Emma's life. She is happier and more confident than I have ever seen her." "She has made a difference in my life too," Marcus said. I never knew I could love someone this much. Sarah's condition continued to get worse, but she held on longer than the doctors had expected. Marcus knew she was fighting to stay alive. Long enough to see Emma settled and safe. One night, Sarah asked Marcus to take a walk with her in the hospital hallway. She was very weak, but she insisted on getting out of bed. Marcus walked slowly beside her, ready to catch her if she fell. "Marcus," Sarah said quietly, "I need to ask you to promise me something." "Anything," Marcus said. "Promise me that you will always tell Emma how much I loved her. Promise me that you will keep pictures of me in your home so she will not forget what I looked like. Promise me that you will tell her stories about when she was a baby." Marcus felt tears running down his face. "I promise, Sarah. I will make sure Emma always knows how much you loved her." "And promise me that you will love her as much as I do," Sarah whispered. "I already do," Marcus said. "I love her more than my own life," Sarah smiled through her tears. "I know you do. That is why I can let go. I know Emma will be safe and loved." "With you?" 3 days later, Sarah passed away peacefully in her sleep. Emma was sleeping in the small bed next to her mother when it happened. Marcus was there too, sitting in a chair beside Sarah's bed. He had promised Sarah that Emma would not be alone when the time came. Marcus gently woke Emma up and held her. While she cried, Emma was sad, but she was not surprised. She had known for a long time that her mother was very sick. Marcus held her and let her cry as long as she needed to. "What happens now, Daddy Marcus?" Emma asked through her tears. "Now, you come home with me," Marcus said softly. "We are a family now, Emma, you and me." The funeral was small but beautiful. Emma wore a pretty black dress that Marcus had bought for her, and she carried her old teddy bear. Many of the nurses and doctors from the hospital came to say goodbye. To Sarah, Emma was brave and said a few words about her mother. "My mommy was the best mommy in the whole world," Emma said, standing at the front of the church. "She taught me to be kind and brave. She also gave me the best daddy in the world. I will miss her every day, but I know she is happy because I am safe and loved." Marcus was so proud of Emma's courage. After the funeral, they went to Marcus's apartment, Emma's new home. Emma looked around the apartment with wide eyes. Marcus had worked hard to make it feel like a home for a child. There were colorful pictures on the walls, toys in the living room, and Emma's beautiful new bedroom was ready for her. "This is really my room?" Emma asked, standing in the doorway of her new bedroom. "This is really your room," Marcus said. "Do you like it?" Emma ran to her new bed and jumped on it. "I love it. It is the most beautiful room I have ever seen." That night, Marcus tucked Emma into her new bed for the first time. He read her a story and sang her a lullaby, even though he had never sung to anyone before. Emma seemed happy, but Marcus could tell she was also scared and sad. "Daddy Marcus," Emma said quietly, "what if I have bad dreams about Mommy?" "Then you come to my room and wake me up," Marcus said. "I will be right down the hall. You are never alone anymore, Emma." "What if I cry?" "Then I will hold you until you feel better." "What if I am not a good daughter?" Marcus sat on the edge of Emma's bed and looked into her eyes. "Emma, you are already the best daughter anyone could ask for. You are kind, smart, brave, and loving. I am so lucky to be your daddy." Emma smiled sleepily. "I am lucky too. I love you, Daddy Marcus." "I love you too, Emma. Sweet dreams." Marcus went to his own room, but he did not sleep much that night. He kept listening for Emma, wondering if she was okay. Around midnight, he heard his bedroom door open quietly. Emma stood in the doorway, holding her teddy bear. "I had a bad dream," Emma whispered. Marcus lifted his blankets. "Come here, sweetheart." Emma climbed into Marcus's big bed and snuggled close to him. "Is this okay?" she asked. "This is perfect," Marcus said, holding her close. "You can sleep in here whenever you want." A few weeks later, Marcus and Emma went to court for the final adoption hearing. Emma wore her favorite yellow dress with flowers on it. Marcus wore his best suit, but he had learned to smile more and look less serious. The judge, Judge Martinez, was a kind woman who spoke gently to Emma. "Emma, do you understand what adoption means?" the judge asked. Yes, Emma said clearly. It means that Daddy Marcus will be my real daddy forever and ever. He will take care of me and love me no matter what. And is that what you want? Judge Martinez asked. More than anything in the whole world, Emma said, looking at Marcus with love. In her eyes, Judge Martinez smiled and signed the papers. Congratulations, Mr. Williams. Emma is now legally your daughter. Marcus felt tears of joy running down his face as he hugged Emma. Emma was crying happy tears, too. We are a real family now, Emma said excitedly. We were always a real family, Marcus said. Now we just have the papers to prove it. That evening, Marcus and Emma celebrated by going to their favorite ice cream shop. Emma got her usual strawberry with rainbow sprinkles, and Marcus surprised her by ordering chocolate chip cookie dough. Look at you being adventurous, Emma laughed. You taught me that trying new things can be wonderful, Marcus said as they sat eating their ice cream. Marcus thought about how much his life had changed in just a few months. Before he met Emma, he had been successful but lonely. Now he was successful and happy. He had a daughter who loved him, a home full of laughter, and a purpose beyond just making money. Emma had asked him to pretend to be her daddy for just one day, but that one day had led to forever, and Marcus could not imagine his life any other way. 6 months after the adoption was finalized, Marcus and Emma had settled into their new life together. Every morning, Marcus would wake Emma up for school with a gentle shake and a smile. She would eat breakfast while he packed her lunch, and they would drive to school together, singing songs in the car. Good morning, sunshine, Marcus would say every day as he opened Emma's bedroom curtains. Good morning, Daddy, Emma would reply, stretching and yawning. She had stopped calling him Daddy Marcus and now just called him Daddy, like any other child would call their father. Marcus had learned so many things about being a father. He learned that Emma liked pancakes shaped like butterflies. He learned that she was afraid of the dark, so he bought her a special nightlight that projected stars on her ceiling. He learned that she was excellent at math but needed help with reading, so he hired a tutor to come to their home twice a week. Most importantly, Marcus learned that being a father was not about being perfect. It was about being present, patient, and loving. There were days when Emma missed her mother terribly and would cry for hours. There were days when Marcus felt overwhelmed and worried that he was not doing things right. But they got through those difficult days together, and their bond grew stronger each time. Emma was thriving in her new life. She had made many friends at school and was doing well in all her classes. Her teacher, Mrs. Garcia, was amazed by the positive changes in Emma. Emma is like a completely different child, Mrs. Garcia told Marcus during a parent-teacher conference. She is more confident, more outgoing, and she smiles all the time now. Whatever you are doing it right. Marcus felt proud but also humble. Emma is the one who deserves the credit. She is an amazing little girl. She talks about you constantly, Mrs. Garcia said with a smile. Yesterday she wrote a story about her family for our writing assignment. She wrote about how you saved her from being alone and how you taught her that families are made with love, not just blood. Marcus felt tears in his eyes. Emma never stopped surprising him with her wisdom and strength. At home, Marcus and Emma had created their own special traditions. Every Friday night was movie night, where they would make popcorn and watch a movie together on the couch. Every Sunday morning, they would make breakfast together and then visit Sarah's grave to put fresh flowers there and tell her about their week. Mommy would be so proud of how well you are taking care of me, Emma would say to Marcus as they stood by Sarah's grave. She always worried about what would happen to me, but now she does not have to worry anymore. Marcus had also made changes in his business life. He still worked hard and his company was still very successful, but now he made sure to be home for dinner every night. He attended every school play, every parent-teacher conference, and every soccer game. His employees were surprised by the changes in their boss, but they could see that Marcus was happier than he had ever been. One evening, Marcus was helping Emma with her homework when she asked him a question that made him stop and think. Daddy, do you think you would have been happy if you had never met me? Marcus put down the pencil he was holding and looked at Emma seriously. No, sweetheart. I do not think I would have been happy. I thought I was happy before I met you, but I was wrong. I was successful, but I was not truly happy. What is the difference? Emma asked, tilting her head to one side the way she always did when she was thinking hard. Success is about accomplishing goals and making money, Marcus explained. Happiness is about having people to love and who love you back. Before I met you, I had success but not happiness. Now I have both, Emma nodded thoughtfully. I'm glad I asked you to be my pretend daddy that day. It was the best decision I ever made. It was the best thing that ever happened to me, too, Marcus said, hugging her tightly. As Emma's 8th birthday approached, Marcus wanted to make it extra special. It would be their first birthday celebration as a real family. He planned a party with all of Emma's friends from school, decorations, games, and a beautiful cake shaped like a butterfly. The night before the party, Emma could not sleep because she was so excited. Marcus sat on her bed and talked with her about the party plans. "Daddy, can I ask you something?" Emma said quietly. "Of course, you can ask me anything." "Do you think Mommy can see us from heaven?" Emma asked. "Do you think she knows about my birthday party tomorrow?" Marcus felt his heart squeeze. Even though Emma was happy and well-adjusted, she still missed her mother every day. "I believe she can see us," Marcus said softly. "And I think she is very happy that you are loved. Safe." "I wish she could be at my party tomorrow," Emma said sadly. Marcus had an idea. "What if we do something special to include Mommy in your party?" Emma sat up in bed, interested. "What do you mean?" "What if we release some balloons into the sky during your party? We can write messages to Mommy on the balloons and send them up to heaven." Emma's face lit up. "That is the most beautiful idea ever." "Can we get pink balloons?" Pink was Mommy's favorite color. "We can get pink balloons," Marcus promised. The birthday party was a huge success. Emma's friends came and played games, ate cake, and sang happy birthday. But the most special moment was when everyone went outside and released pink balloons into the sky with messages for Sarah. Emma's balloon had a note that said, "Dear Mommy, I am 8 years old today. Daddy gave me the best party ever. I love you and I miss you. Watch over us from heaven. Love, Emma." Marcus's balloon had a note that said, "Dear Sarah, thank you for giving me the greatest gift in the world, your daughter's love. I promise to take care of her always. She is happy, healthy, and loved." As the balloons floated up into the blue sky, Emma held Marcus's hand tightly. "I love you, Daddy,"